The events of the last several days demonstrate that our fight for statehood is more than about getting 2 senators, but it's also about our right as tax-paying Americans to autonomy, and the autonomy that can only be fully achieved with statehood. From what I could see, just like you all could see, I didn't see any provocation that would warrant the deployment of munitions, and especially for the purpose of moving the president across the street. I don't think that the military should be used on the streets of American cities against Americans. And I definitely don't think it should be done for a show.
So,
yeah, you know, I'm concerned whenever there's a police action that paints police officers in a negative light, because what folks will do is they will attribute that to all of us. So yes, I would say whenever police action is done in a way that people, it's either true or perceived to be negative by the police, that concerns me personally.
Those not familiar with the mutual assistance process, sometimes, especially when we have large-scale events, you are probably most familiar when we do the inauguration and have to police that. We have put a mutual assistance call out, not just to this region, but very widely to get support for a very large-scale event. So it is not unusual for us to call on our neighbors to assist. But we did not make a mutual assistance call to any police department or any state National Guard. We don't want the armed National Guard, armed military, and we don't want any of those things on DC streets. Federal assets and monuments and memorials are appropriate for federal assets. What we observed last night is protesters largely complying with the curfew, and we're going to implore them to comply with the curfew again. The curfew is 7 p.m. and that doesn't mean you're leaving at 7 p.m. That means you're off the street at 7 p.m. And it's very important that everybody complies with the curfew. There are exceptions. If you are essential, if you're working, if you're voting, then you are able to do all of those things. But we're asking people to comply with the curfew.